You are live at the Literary Lounge with your host, Destiny D, bringing you the newest and the brightest of the literary world right to your ear hole. Every Saturday from 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tune in, listen up, and learn something. This is the spot for new hot authors who are given the opportunity to shine. Each Saturday from 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will showcase a new author here at the Literary Lounge. We are taking out the time to give all of our literary friends an opportunity to showcase their work. The New Author Spotlight is a platform that allows us to ask up to 10 questions or more to give you, the audience, the most in-depth current information about each writer in their literary piece. We will have a new guest every week. Stay tuned.
Hey, 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 it's your girl Destiny D live on WTLR radio, and you are tuned in to the Literary Lounge, and we are live with a special guest on today's date as being May the 4th, 2019, and the young lady that we're going to be speaking to today is none other than Sister Raykel Tolson, and I hope I pronounced that correctly. Um, we're going to be talking about her new book that just came out called Undefiled, and we're going to find out some information about her, how she got started, a little bit of background about the book, and then also if she has any current events in the near future that we should know about. So without further ado, let's see if this is her on the line. Hello, Raykel, is this you?
Hi, this is me. Can you hear me good?
Yeah, I hear you great. So thank you so much for being on the show today. I hope you have enough time to do everything with me today because we're going to be doing an hour show. So I want to give you the opportunity to introduce yourself to everybody who's tuning in right now.
Just, I'm Raykel Tolson, and it's so funny whenever I'm asked to introduce myself, I'm like, where do I start? So I am fairly new on the scene, the author scene. I probably, even though I wrote my first book when I was 10 years old, and that was almost 40 years ago, but I've actually published my first fiction novel in 2015 called Single and Saved. And so that kind of got my juices revved back up to, be an author and put out books for the community. I am a New Thought Christian. And so all that means is we don't just believe that Jesus Christ is Savior. He's also our way shower. He showed us how to live in our divinity. And I think that's kind of a little different. We don't just think of, Jesus as the only one who is the child of God. We all are, and we can do everything that he does. And so with that, I wanted to write books to kind of shake up the Christian world just a little bit to maybe, ask people why do they think what they think. Not to say that it's bad what they think, but why they think what they think, and not just because somebody told them to think it, but because they actually believe it and they have some, real feelings behind it. Because a lot of times I find that we really don't. We just kind of believe what somebody told us to believe. So that's really where I get into why I'm writing, and I do both fiction and nonfiction. Because I think, you can read and be entertained and still learn something, and then sometimes you just need to be getting some cold, hard facts to learn.
That is indeed true.
I guess,
and
yeah. I was going to say, I guess that's me in a nutshell about my writing, but I'm also a mother of a 24-year-old who just graduated with his master's degree, so I'm very, very proud.
Okay, congratulations. I know how that could be. Just getting them to actually start school and actually finishing with a master's. That's a great accomplishment. I'm hoping that mine follows in the similar footsteps. He's actually 14 years old and just got accepted to a college to do dual enrollment. So everything that he does in high school, will be credited towards his college credits and stuff like that. So I'm hoping that he follows suit. That's something that all young black men need to be looking towards doing. Is bettering their education, bettering their circumstances, and possibly, making it out here in this world.
Amen. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Let me ask you this. Where exactly are you from?
Well, I'm from St. Louis, Missouri, in a town called University City. So it's in a suburb. We're like right near Washington University. That's why I think they call it a University City, because we're right there near the college. As soon as I graduated, though, I left St. Louis because I did not like snow. That was my grandparents and stuff, and great-grandparents, they went to that area. I would never say I don't like snow. So I went to college in Florida, and then I realized it was too hot down there. It's like Goldilocks, too hot. So I moved out to California, where it's like just right. In Southern California, where I get my sunshine, where I get a nice ocean breeze, so it's not too hot, it's not like humid. It's perfect. So now home is Los Angeles, California. I've been here for 13 years. And funny story, look, I wanted to come here right after college, but my dad said I was going to have to live with him, and I was like, there's no way I'm going from my mama's house to my daddy's house. So I was like, no, thank you. I'll go to Florida instead.
I know that's right. When you mentioned, St. Louis, I never thought of it being that cold, but then now that I'm seeing all of those blizzards and stuff they have on the news lately, I'm starting to second guess that now. And then you said you moved to Florida.
Yeah.
I definitely scared to go to Florida between the gators and the hurricanes. I don't think I would want to live in Florida. And then you said you was California. I'm scared of that too because you have mudslides on one side and fires on the other side. You need to get some of the crazy spots to move to.
We do, but I'm in an area where we don't have we don't get the mudslides or the fires in the area that I'm in, because I'm like right near LAX, so we don't really deal with that. We just get shaken up a little bit every now and then.
Oh Lord, I forgot about the earthquakes. No, I'm good. We had one in my hometown, and it was only like a 5.8, and people was backing up, like, because we never had one before. So for us to have anything this before, we was looking around like the world was about to fall. I couldn't do it. So tell us a little bit about it.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying, tell us a little bit about the book that you just released. Give us some background on Undefiled.
Okay, Undefiled. So let me just say, it started, I was having a conversation with my cousin a long time ago about the particular topic. I don't want to say it because I don't want to give a book away for the people that want to read it. But we were having a topic, and I just, I was giving my opinion on this certain topic. So based on that topic, the story idea and the character came to my mind. Now, I don't know, this is probably going to sound really weird unless you are a writer, but this character stayed in my head and was telling me stuff and was telling me the story, and I had to write it down because it's like it just, they just stay in there until you write it down. So I wrote it, but not as a book. I wrote it as a short film because I'm out here in LA. I used to read a lot of scripts because my son's an actor, well, was an actor. So I wrote it as a short film. And I let a coworker read it, and he was like, "Oh my gosh, you need to make this movie." And I said, "Well, it's not that simple. It costs money." He was like, "Well, how much?" I said, I just threw out there $10,000. I really didn't know. I just threw it out. He was like, "Well, I got 5 on it. If you can get the other 5, let's do it." So that was just like, wow, he believed in my story that much, like he was willing to put some money to it. So then I had to figure out, could we do it with $10,000? And we actually did. We did the short film for Undefiled, put it, and it made it to some film festivals. And I was sitting in the audience with a guy, and he said that was the best short film I've ever seen. I was like, wow. He didn't know I was an author, or the writer at the time. And it just gave like, wow, so this is a good story. Then I would talk to people, they said they just wish they knew more. They wanted more backstory because the short film was just like the end of the book. So I decided to write a full length book. And that's where we got the Undefiled that we're talking about today. So it's the fullest book in hopes to actually be a movie one day. So that's how we got to the book. Does that answer your question? It was kind of long.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm pleasantly surprised that you even have a short film because, like, most people don't get that far into the book. Like, normally, if they write the book and people like it enough, then they'll say, okay, do the short film. And then the short film, like, gets picked up, like you said, at a film festival by somebody who's willing to take it on, and then it goes into a full-length movie. Like, I got a friend of mine that's having that process now for a book called Pimp and Preacher. And they're working on the short thing to do what you've done. So I applaud you for what you're doing. And I wish that you get some more information about this book, I know, without giving it away.
Yeah.
But if you had to pick and choose, like, one particular part of the book that really, like, got you wide open, you couldn't stop writing it until it was completely finished, like, what part would that have been?
Well, okay, so let me just so for the people out there listening, they're probably like, what is the book about? Okay, so the book is about Liz who wants to be married. She's a single mother, and she's, just waiting for her baby daddy to, come back to her and do the right thing, marry her. And I don't know about anybody else, but that usually don't happen. That usually don't happen. And so it didn't happen for her. So she finds out that the baby daddy, has moved on. So she has to decide, is she going to move on? And she wants to. Then she meets Anthony, who has no desire to be married, has no desire to be in a relationship, but he likes her. But then some things happen in his life, with his mom, and they get thrown together, and he just decides that maybe he should live life a little different because life is too short. So they are ready to get married. They, court, ready to get married. But then the night before the wedding, she finds out something about his past that doesn't necessarily sit well with her, and probably most women it wouldn't sit well with. And she has to decide if she's going to let his past interfere with their future. So when I was writing, what made me, like, all of it just made me, like, just keep going. I wrote this probably in a weekend because it was just so much that it just came out, everything, because and everybody always asks, is it a true story? Not a true story, but I could really relate to it as a person who's never been married and who desires to be married, but I allow a lot of the stuff in people's past to kind of give me pause. And some stuff should give us pause. But then some things we have to ask ourselves, why does it really give us pause? You know, what's underneath all of that? You know, what's underneath that mistrust? What's underneath our disdain for a certain thing? You know, and especially in the Christian world, because we have a lot of things that we just like, oh, no, never, ever, because that's how we were taught, that certain things are just horrible. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense because believe it or not, I've seen more of, I guess you could say, unveiling or revealing of the past of most of the ministers that I have seen, like on a major catalyst. A lot of them have, relayed to their congregation what their past lives were. I've heard them say, "I'm an alcoholic," before I was
Right.
converted, and now I don't drink no more. Or I was a womanizer, and once I got, you know, the most high in my life, I never did that again. I was on the straight and narrow, and I was dedicated to my wife for so many years, and this and the other. You even have some ministers that said I was dealing drugs when a man walked up to me with a Bible, converted me, and all this other stuff. So, even though we look at the highest officials and figures of the church, they all were human. So they became a man of the cloth. So a lot of their past lives prior to the change, a lot of people are not comfortable with what they used to do. Like, I've even had one say that he spent time in prison and was convicted of murdering somebody. But see, the thing about it is when you dealing with situations like that, it's like you have to get the whole story to get the understanding of what this person's been through. So you can't just say, "Oh, he murdered somebody," or "he was a drug dealer." I'm done with that. Like, I ain't got nothing to do with him because of this.
Right.
But
right.
if you was get like the background information and be like, okay, well, his daddy was a drug dealer, so he kind of picked up the family trade, even though he didn't know it was wrong. He did it because he thought that was what he was supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? He was misguided as a young man, or either he told her or explained to her that the man that he murdered had raped his mother, and he was protecting her, and he caught for it. You see what I'm saying? So it's like you have to know the full parameter as to what happened and why it happened to that person, as opposed to just judging from face value of what you find out about the person, because it may be a whole lot more to the story than what you're getting. So I definitely I background checking.
Well, look, can I share a little excerpt from the book for you?
Sure.
Okay, so Liz, I wasn't hiding my past from you. I didn't ask about your past, and I didn't share details about mine. I didn't think it was that important. Liz opened her mouth to refute his logic, but Anthony put his hands up to stop her and continue. But I know better now. I know I have to share everything I am with you. I promise I won't keep any more secrets. But, babe, I need you to love me enough to hear them without thinking less of me or punishing me. And that's what I think, like, that pretty much sums up what Undefiled is about, and what I'm like what I'm really trying to get people, as Christians especially, because I don't really call this Christian fiction, even though it is, because they curse, they drink, they have sex, and some people, when they hear Christian fiction, they want it to be squeaky clean. So I call it inspirational fiction. But but as Christians, we should be the first to be able to let people go over their past. Like, we shouldn't hold them to their past, because Jesus is like, that's what Jesus was all about. That you can be converted and you can change, and everything, and God sees you as white as snow because of the blood of Jesus. But why won't we let the blood of Jesus cover, everybody else? It can cover us, but it can't cover somebody else, And so we don't, we should be the first ones to, if you say that's your past and you're done with it, especially if I love you, I gotta be like, okay, you know?
Yeah, that is so true. And I'm glad that you brought that up. Believe it or not, most of the criticism that people of the world get from other people that should be bringing them in and treating them in a way that converts them are the people of the church. And they're judging people on what they're doing instead of being that light and being that guide as to what they should be or which way they should go. And I've seen more church-driven people who have treated people on the outside of the church worse than the ones inside. And I feel like it's kind of messed up when you judge someone when you were probably in the same seat less than 23 years ago. You was dealing with your child that you had out of wedlock, but you're going to condemn this young mother child out of wedlock when you had one 23 years ago. Yeah, you got converted. Yeah, you got changed. But she needs to be in the position that you're in now. She needs somebody to guide her and uplift her, not make her feel bad about the same situation that you went through. You know what I'm saying? And truth be told, they don't know how she got pregnant. She could have been raped. You see what I'm saying? They're automatically judging a young mother, not knowing her situation. See, that's what I'm saying. And then, like, you touched on the other things, and I done lost my train of thought because it is a sensitive subject. You know, that's where most of the people get all of their judgment from is the people of the church. And a lot. This is that I had thought about. This is what I had thought about. If you go into the Bible and you see how the Most High picked his disciples, all 12 of them were not upstanding men of God. None of them. I mean, he even had one of his highest disciples. He murdered people for believing in him. He was collecting money. And he was crucifying Christians. You understand what I'm saying? He took a murderer and converted him. So it bothers me when people say they're not good enough or this person is trash or they have the wrong mindset. Like the church should be helping and stuff, and they won't do it. If it's not benefiting people with walls, they're not doing it.
You know, one of the things I always say, I'm like, I wish we in the church would just focus on sharing the good news of Jesus and exhibiting the love of God, and let God be God. Let God be in charge of changing people's behavior. I don't even have to talk about them changing their behavior. I just have to tell them how good God is, how good He's been to me. You know, live that kind of lifestyle. And, you know, I just got to plant the seed. Somebody else will come around and water it. But God is going to be the one that changes it. You know, God is the one that changes their lives or do something. It's not up to us. We don't have to try to change people. That, you know, we don't even need to try to change ourselves, really. Like, I don't know about, you know, people probably like, that sounds crazy. If I'm constantly filling my mind with the what God is saying and what, you know, His principles, and I am, you know, trying to it, before I know it, my mind gonna change, and I'm not gonna even realize what happened to make me change. My behavior changed. I don't even know how it happened. God just did it. You know, it's just like He did it. I did make some choices to do, you know, to be around the right things and to hear the right things, but the actual changing of my heart, that was God. And so I'm like, let us let God do that for other people, and we just do the stuff that He's asked us to do. And that's the planting and the watering. He gonna let it grow.
That is indeed true, and I even that, and I think that if more people were that like-minded and that positive, a whole lot of other things would go a whole lot better. So when did this book actually release?
Say it again?
when did your book actually release? When did you put it out?
Last September 1st. Yeah, September 1st is when I released the book. So it's coming up on a year, and I was like, let me go ahead and keep pushing it a little bit more, because I'm working on a new book, but I was like, I want to push this a little bit more so I can get out there. And then plus, what I want to do, I want to have a big book club type thing, and have it live so we can actually talk about the whole book, spoilers and everything. But I wanted to give enough people an opportunity to really get their hands on it, to read it before we do that, because once but it's a subject matter, I believe, that needs to be addressed in our community. But I was like, I was gonna wait for hope after a year before I do that. So that's coming. That's coming.
Oh. So,
but I do. What? I wanted to say. Wait, I'm sorry. I wanted to say one more thing on that other subject, that the judgmental and stuff. And what this book Undefiled also talks about is the hierarchy of sins that we as Christians sometimes put on. Even though I have yet to find it in the Bible, that there's a hierarchy of sins. Like, this sin is bigger than this sin, and this sin is bigger than this sin. I haven't seen it. I haven't found that in the Bible yet. Maybe somebody can tell me about it. But that's one of the issues in our community, in our churches. We have a hierarchy of sin. And even like when you look at this new president, the things that he did, it's not that bad. But then you look at some other stuff that, say, Bill Clinton did. Oh, that was real bad. Like, what's the difference? You grabbing somebody and having an affair, but then I just don't understand. We really do have this hierarchy of sin that we need to stop with. Like, we really need to stop with that.
And
I
agree with
your next question. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm.
No, you fine. It might be a little bit of a delay. That's why we're crossing up. But yeah,
okay.
I completely agree with what you're saying, because there is a level, I guess you would say, to the human race as to what they consider better or worse than the other. Like, there are standards that they have, that they feel like they have authority or the superiority, that they can do these things with no repercussions. Like, they're above the law, they're above God's law, they're above man. Like, they don't have no governor as far as to what they do and what they allow. But if the same situation was attached to melanated skin, it would be undefiled as opposed to any. It's very one-sided when it comes to the world, and it's been like that for the longest time. You got people who are in prison right now. Case in point, Bill Cosby. Half of the women that was on the roster saying that he had did things to them or slipped them things in their drinks and all of this other stuff. They couldn't even prove half of the stories. And then one girl even came out and said she lied to sell her book. So even with the information that they had, it was still enough to indict them. It was still enough to convict them. But if you had that on white skin, he wouldn't even got charged. How many people that done got off? Charlie Sheen. Look at how many women he done killed. Because they know he has AIDS. It's not a secret. AIDS, full blown. And he pretty much, the woman he's dealt with, they signed a waiver for him so that they can't even charge him with murder. That makes no sense to me. You see what I'm saying? And then, not just to get off something on that note, but it's one-sided. Like, I don't understand how they're okay with that. And then, like, you do have people who are in the Christian community, not so much as the world itself, but just in the Christian community, they feel like, oh, if I tell a little white lie, that's not as
Uh-huh.
bad as me murdering somebody. Or if um if I steal something from somebody, it's not as bad as me um committing this particular sin or that particular sin. But the way the Most High looks
Uh-huh.
at it, sin. There's no level to it. It's right or
No.
wrong. And when you
Right.
justify wrong, you already messed up. Like any time that you can sit there and count, sit up there and like contemplate in your mind as to how you can make it look better to somebody else when you tell it, it's still the same
Mm.
sin. It's no different, no better. The same ones that you can be condemned for. It's the same thing. He's not gonna say, oh well, it was just a white lie, so you can still come to heaven, you know what I'm saying? Like, just don't do it no more, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, that it don't work like that. People think that they can justify wrongdoing, and then you have all of these government officials who feel like if they make a law to make it legal, then it's not a sin. But it's still a sin. Bestiality, rape, all of that stuff, it's still a sin. Like, you can't justify it. You can't make a law to make it legal and think that he's still not
Hmm.
going to govern you. But they do it. Faithful. They do it. And
Mhm.
I don't know how they can do it. It's like, and you notice that most of the officials who run the world have no spiritual backing. None whatsoever. You've never seen them pray. You ain't never seen them at no church unless there was a shooting.
Hmm.
I don't understand how the men who run the world have no moral compass, no guidelines, no God in them. None of them.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true.
But that's how they do things. They justify all the wrong things, and I
I just
don't understand. I do see the Most High answering some of these prayers that we've been praying because a lot of them are being exposed. They may not be doing nothing
agree.
about it, but they are being
But they've been
they are being.
exposed.
Mhm.
Yeah. And it's making
Mhm.
it's making people have to decide, do they accept it? Why are they accepting it from them? Why are they continue to vote for these people? So it just makes you have to think about why you're doing stuff. And that's the whole view. Like I always say, I write books to make people think about what they think about. You know, if it's exposed, it's like you can go ahead and choose to keep doing that, but understand what you're doing. You know, don't be hypocritical about it. Say what it is, and but everything is out in the open. You can't say you didn't know. There is knowledge.
That is true. That is true. And you can't say you
Mm.
didn't know, didn't see
Right.
it because it's everywhere and it's evident. And
Yes.
I don't I don't. There's no way that you can deny the stuff that we're seeing. It's on the news. It's in front of your face. Like it's everyday type stuff all the time. So it's not like they're not seeing it. And just because you turn a blind eye to it, don't mean you didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? And if you see it and you acknowledge it and you co-sign it, you're just as bad as the people that's doing it because you're
Hmm.
witnessing it and you're not doing anything to change it. You're pretty much okay with what they're doing, and that's not right
Mhm.
either. I wish that more people would stand up. I've seen more people get banned off Facebook this week than ever because they're
Really?
standing up for what and they're telling other people, the difference between what they should be doing and what they shouldn't be doing. Like I've even seen people's messages that they put on my post erased. Like
Hmm.
I don't understand how they can co-sign. Like I just did a post yesterday, and it had a young man who had a gun to the head of the baby mama, and she was holding the baby in her lap. Now they approved that to be somebody's profile picture, but just the other day they banned
Mm-mm.
Farrakhan on Facebook, and I'm like, how can you ban a man of the Most High who's only trying to preach wisdom and understanding? But you're gonna allow somebody who's got a gun to their baby mama head with the baby in their lap, and you're approving this
Mm.
picture as a profile picture, and then you're snubbing out messages that people, you're banning, like, the comment. How do you ban the comment? You understand what I'm saying? So it's like,
Mm. Mhm.
I don't like how they're co-signing wrongdoing. I've seen people go
Right.
on Facebook Live shooting people.
Mm.
It's like
Yeah,
they're
that's crazy.
co-signing all the wrong. But when you start speaking understanding, wisdom, the righteous ways to go, the truth about the lies that they've been telling for so long, it's like they try to block you, blackball you, they kick you out your
Mm.
own web, they hack you, they shut you down and everything. Like I've been locked. I've been in Facebook jail at least twice this year, and we ain't even six
Wow.
months in. You know what I'm saying? It's like they co-sign all the
Yeah.
wrong stuff, and I don't understand like how they can co-sign all the wrong things. Like if anything, and then when somebody say, "Well, I thought we had freedom of speech," we ain't got no freedom. That's just a
Mm.
piece of paper signed on, and a whole lot of people signed it, but they don't honor none of the words, none of it. And you know it's bad when you
Wow.
have children that come home and say they refuse to do the Pledge of Allegiance because it's a lie. Like we are not one
Wow.
nation under God. We're a nation under men who doing wrong and they okay with it. That's what we under. And I'm like, these
Yeah.
children is like 10, 11 years old and they already grasping the understanding that the world is messed up.
Mhm.
That's it's a blessing that they waking up earlier, but they shooting them earlier too.
Yeah.
And I'm so fearful of the black men because they're not just killing the older ones. They don't care if you're gay. They don't care if you're straight. They don't care if you if you a baby out the womb. They catching them every which way they can. Young, old, blind, deaf.
Mhm.
They don't. They consider any black male a threat, and I don't understand how we as a people allow it. Cause like we could have been stood up. We could have been said something. We could have been done something about it. But it's like everybody said, "Well, I'm just one person." But yeah, we're a nation. If you look at every black person on the planet, we outnumber any black, brown, yellow, or red person outweigh and outnumber everybody else. But we don't
Yeah.
stand up and we don't make changes. And then the ones who do try to make changes, oh, they kill them quick. Anybody that has any kind of influence on the people around them, look at how they just killed Nipsey, and he was prominent in his community. He even had enough pull to get the train made
Mhm.
directly in his shop, so where people could get right off the train directly in front of his store. Like he was dealing with politics and everything. So it's like you don't have black men that last long, especially when they're trying to do right by everything. Um, but yeah, to get back to the book, girl, I'll tell you, it's so easy to go a whole another direction. I'm not lying because it's like so much stuff going on. Um,
Yeah, it is.
and
It
when I
is.
first started looking at your book and I saw the word undefiled, and then I did like some research online, and it was talking
Uh huh.
about how marriage and all of this other stuff, and that this girl was getting
Mhm.
ready to go through and all that other stuff. And when I was looking at the word undefiled, the first thing that came to my mind was that she was getting married and she was like a virgin or something like that. And somewhere along the line, she ended up like finding out something different about the guy that was about to marry. As far as I guess his fidelity
So
or what he had done, who he
yeah.
had been with.
So
It's
I
hard to
can tell
tell.
you. I can tell you undefiled. So the Bible says the marriage bed is undefiled. And to me, what that means is that what a husband and a wife do together is not bad. It's what they do together. Now I'm not talking about. I said that one time on a post, And people were making it seem like I was talking about they could bring in animals, they could bring in other people. I was like, I said that what a husband and a wife do between each other. I was like, where did all that other stuff come? People just bring in whatever. But what it was to me, what it's really saying is that people need to stay out of people's marriage bed. Because what me and my husband want to do has nothing to do with nothing else. It's just what we do together. And like I said, when I say together, I'm not talking about bringing in all kind of other people. I'm not talking about bringing in animals. I'm not talking about, nothing like that. I'm just talking about when it comes to intimate stuff between a man and a wife, God is saying, hey, your marriage bed is undefiled. So, have fun. Enjoy. It's like enjoy yourself. But the thing is, it's like, okay, what does that mean? Well, like what it means to me may mean something different to you as far as what you may be willing to allow your husband to do with you. And so that's where when I say it's undefiled, even though God's saying y'all have fun, do whatever, but we are the ones that we say, okay, no, that's too much. So my question is, like, what is too much? What could your fiance say that he likes to do that you'd be like, nah, that's too much? So that's where the undefiled came in.
Yeah, but see, that's the thing. So, like, people go to the extremes with certain things when they shouldn't. And you know how when they dealing with other people, that's not a marriage. A marriage doesn't have a third wheel. A marriage doesn't have involved. You can't just throw that stuff in there. But people do that just to get a rise out of folks. And see, a lot of people realize that it doesn't require all of that between a husband and a wife. To see if, the husband preferred something in particular. I'm not going to speak out, but I'm just saying, if he preferred something in particular and the wife was like, no, I don't do that. I'm not built for that, and I'm not going to do that. Then he's supposed to be equally yoked with her and agree that that's just something that they're not going to do. Now, if she says, well, I have never done it before, but you're my husband, I'm going to try to do that for you because I know that's something that you're interested in doing, then he work with her. You know what I'm saying? Because he not marrying a stripper unless he marrying a stripper. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, you know what I'm saying? He's not marrying a porn star. He marrying a wife unless she wants.
Well, and okay. Right, and here's the thing. Now, watch this. My older sister, she was married. Her husband just died a couple of years ago, but she was married for a long time. And you know what she told me? She said her advice, and because this is how she went about in her marriage. She said she told her husband, I'm willing to try anything twice. And the reason why she said twice, she said, because the first time, if it's the first time, it might not, it's just, you can't even wrap your head around it. So she said she'll give it the second time. If after the second time she still don't like it, then he has to just know she tried it. She gave it a try, but she didn't like it, and they got to move on and find something else. And he was okay with that. And so that's how they were in their marriage. And she didn't share with me the kind of stuff because that wasn't my business. She just said, as my older sister tried to teach me how to be in a marriage, she said, you should try everything with your spouse at least twice. And then that just shows him that and it goes the other way. He should try everything at least twice to show her that he was right.
I agree. I don't believe that men would go that route, and the reason why I say that is because I don't see no heterosexual man trying to allow me to do what he trying to do to me.
Well, wait. But the thing is, when you in a marriage, I hear a man back there. Did I hear a man's voice?
My other half is in the other seat.
Okay. So is he agreeing? Would he try something twice for you, just like he asking you to try things twice?
He said he agreed, but I don't.
See?
Yes. That's
but
an
you gotta
topic.
trust that that's the truth. I trust
Yeah,
it. I believe it. I believe it. I believe it. And
I
that's
don't know.
you know what? And let me tell you, part of my book, and this is where you got to understand. The men, remember I told you it was a man that said this was the best short film he had ever saw. I had a man place on Facebook, and I didn't know this guy. This guy just read the book, and he said, fellas, this one's for us. The men, I hope your better half will read the book. The men have even said, you know, some of the stuff that I'm saying, it may not be exactly what I'm talking about, that they like, oh, yeah, that's me or anything, but they do want women to be, their wives to be more open and where they can share, especially in our black community. We are some uptight people. It's crazy. I talk to white women, they are not as uptight as we are sexually. We are very uptight when it comes to that.
Yeah.
And I think it's the church.
Yeah, but see, it's not so much as that. I think it's a whole lot of parameters involved when it comes to that, because when you're dealing with somebody who is not out there like that, it's kind of hard to like promote yourself as being that seasoned. You know, because like when you're dealing with those parameters of the bedroom, it's like like I said, if it's things that you've never done before, how can you be a pro at it? You know what I'm saying? To a certain degree, they have to understand it. So that's something that you never did. So you was willing to try. But
do you have to be a pro? Right, and then what you just said, you're willing to try, but you don't have to be a pro. You're just willing to try. That's all I'm saying. We should be willing to try stuff.
I guess.
You see?
But I mean, but a lot of people, they think that in order to spice up their marriage or whatever, they got to involve, like you said, other people. No, you don't. No, you don't.
I don't know. No, you don't.
Involve like a how-to video, maybe, at the most. That's the only third voice that you should. But but it's okay to have an open mind and to try new things. I'm not saying that, but I know to a certain degree, I know that will happen and stuff that just won't happen. But if by right, maybe it might happen. But if we're not drinking or whatever, and it happens, then, you know, whatever happens, we'll go with the flow or whatever. But I've never like. It's just certain things that just don't sit well with me that I just.
Yeah. Well, and the whole idea of the book, like I said, is really to, you know, for people to think why they think what they think, you know, and it's not to say that the way one person thinks is wrong and the way the other person thinks is right. It's just like, why do you think what you think? Why won't you try this? Is it because of, you know, what somebody told you and not what you know? And it's like,
not what you know.
You can't base stuff on what other people told you, because that's not, you know, you gotta know for yourself, especially when you're talking about something between you and your spouse that your spouse would like to do. I don't think I'm gonna tell my spouse no because my girl said she didn't like it. What your girl got to do with me, you know?
That don't make sense. Now, that I agree with. That I do agree with. Like, because somebody else might have tried what your husband wanted to try to do with you, and they didn't like it, so they telling you don't do it. And you just follow suit because that's what she said. But it may be where it's beneficial to you to go ahead on and do it, and you may like it. You know, you never know what somebody else is going to. As far as why they didn't appreciate what theirs is. But it may be completely different for you and your partner, because y'all might have a thicker chemistry. And y'all might be wide open when y'all do. There's no tension. There's no forcing. So it's like you're not uneasy with it, and it's pleasurable for you. So yeah, I do agree. You shouldn't just go by the word of mouth alone. You should actually like see what they all about and see if they want to try and take do, then go for it. I mean, so fun being in the marriage is to be in the marriage as long as you possibly can be. I don't like the divorcing thing. Normally if you have a problem, you try to talk it out, work it out, or whatever. But a lot of people they're leaving their other half because they're not getting it in the bedroom, or they're leaving their other half to go with another woman that's providing what the wife won't provide, or vice versa. So it's like, how do you compete with somebody that's willing to do when you're not? So that's something else that women should be in mind of when you're saying no, 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 and a woman on the corner is saying yeah, come on. You gonna have some competition to deal with unless you break it from there and say, okay, babe, now I'm not like some hooker on the side of the street, but at the end of the day, I'm gonna try to give you what you need. You know what I'm saying? That's a difference. And just saying no all the time, it's not gonna be the correct answer because eventually they're gonna get tired of the no's, and they're gonna be looking for somebody that's gonna say yeah.
And then here's the other thing. So like when you were talking about what a man won't try, sometimes from Undefiled, some people may not ask what they really want for fear of how it's going to make them look. I'm trying to see how I can say this. Someone said that I'm trying to say it without it being like that, someone else crazy. I'll just put it this way. There are some things that if somebody said they wanted something, the first thing we're going to be like, oh, you must be gay. If our man asked us to do something, the first thing a lot of people say is, oh, you must be gay. And a man don't want to hear that from his woman. So a lot of times they might not even ask those things because they don't want that thought to pop in their woman's head. Does that make sense?
Oh, yeah, it make a whole lot of sense because I have had moments. Oh, let me stop. I was getting ready to tell myself. But no, I mean, to be real candid with you, there were times when I was, in that situation, and this particular person was like, do this like that. And I was like, are you sure? And he was like, yeah. And I was like, okay. And I done it. And it, like, sent the whole situation into, like, a whole nother level. Like, I was like, wow. But, some people, it takes different stimulation or something different that they never had or, to kind of put them in a whole nother realm of euphoria. So it's like, if he asks you something, girl, you better do it. And it should be, it should be okay. Like it's between you and your man. Like he's not gonna go behind your back and be like, yo, I tried to get my girl to do this joke and she was like, no, she ain't gonna do it. Or either, man, my wife did some old crazy stuff last night, boy. You know what I mean? Most men, that good, they not gonna advertise it. But that's just amongst each other, and it should be no more than amongst each other. Anything more than that, you messing up because that's that third wheel thing. If your wife is providing everything you need, and your husband is doing that, and he holding it down, the last thing you need to do is put a third wheel in there to let somebody else know what you're getting at home, because then that kind of puts them in the mindset of wanting to know what you got or trying to get what you got. And I can't, when you have your boys is supposed to be your boys, and he done messed up and he done said something sideways because y'all had an anniversary last week, and you told him about what your wife did, and now he looking at you all side-eyed because he know what you did in the bedroom when he shouldn't have never known. Same thing with your friends, and you say, man, my husband came home the other day, and I don't know what he took. It might have been a Viagra or something, but it was hanging down his leg. No, you don't do that. You don't do that because now your girlfriend is side-eyeing you
and your man, whenever y'all walking with each other, trying to see if there's a print, and how like is it really hanging down next to me? You opening up so many doors that don't need to be open when it comes to people outside of your marriage, and it's like the wrong thing. I don't want nobody to know what I'm holding. You'll never know my cards unless you played a hand with me. Other than that, I'm not telling nobody my business. Like, you'll never know me hanging from a ceiling fan. No, I'm not telling you my business. But it's so many people that end up doing that. And it ends up ruining the marriage because they got all of these other people involved that didn't need to be. So I definitely agree with you on that. And with me, look, my other half already said, we're going to get the book. But, I mean, and I honestly think that we should actually put something together. Like, me and him going to put something together. But that way you can have both perspectives. Because that's something that needs to be discussed. You know, both parameters and both perspectives when it comes to all of that other stuff. And you know, and my thing is this. A lot of people condone all the wrong things. It's like they glorify all of the sex outside of marriage. But they justify everything outside of marriage. But it's like when you're talking about married people and what they do, it's like, oh, that ain't nothing. Like, that's minimal. That's like, you know, missionaries the most you gonna get, and then you go to bed. Like they it's like they don't have no. It's like no like it's like once you married, that's it. Like your sex life is over. I don't know what they must be smoking on something, because that's not how it is. It's not like that at all. And people like they need to like switch their mindset, because it's nothing like that at all. But just to get back to you, baby, I'm sorry. What I want to give you an opportunity. I want to give you an opportunity to let everybody know where your book is being sold. How much is it going for?
Okay. So Undefiled is you can get it on Amazon.com or Barnes and Noble. It's $12.95 for the paperback. It's only $2.99 for the Kindle if people read it. If they want an autographed copy, they can go to my website, www.RaykelTolson.com. That's RaykelTolson.com, and I'll autograph a copy and mail it out to you. I will be in Atlanta August 2nd through the 4th at the 17th Annual National Book Club Conference. If anybody is in the Atlanta area, it's going to be a whole lot of people there. I'm not one of the featured people because they don't know about me yet. That's how I say they don't know about me yet. But I will be there selling my book for that weekend, so they can come down and get a copy and autograph and tell me what they think. But one of the things I did want to say is that the main reason why I did write Undefiled is to get people talking, to get husband and wife discussing the peace spot. I want, I want men to know that, and I need men to trust women enough to discuss their past and their secrets with not with any woman you meet, but with your wife, with the person that you want to marry. The person you feel like you're going to spend the rest of your life with. You should be able to, share who you really are and what you think with that person. So that's really what Undefiled is all about. And I hope that people will read it, review it, and then share, refer it. That's why I said read, review, and refer. You read it, write your review, and then tell somebody, a lot of somebody about it, because this book, it's a very short read. It's a novella. It's not long. You can read it probably in a night. A lot of people have told me they can read it in a night because it was that interesting enough to keep them going. But it's short enough so you can read it and then really discuss it, because that's what will make it very important for me, is that people are talking about the right things. Thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, you are so welcome, and I'm so glad that you came, because I know it's very hard to take out a full hour out of your busy schedule to do things like this, but I really do appreciate you taking out that time to be with me on the show. Um, it's been wonderful. Like I even had to extend. I'm actually like extending the show just a little bit because I didn't get the opportunity to give you your moment, to give all of your social media stuff and all of that stuff. So I'm extending it now so that you can actually give all of that info right now. So let everybody know your social media network plugs and all of that good stuff. Where can we find you on social media?
On Facebook, I have a Books by Ray. That's on my book page, or you can just look under Raykel Tolson. On Instagram, I'm under Raykel Tolson. Twitter, I'm under Raykel T. And then, so like I said, Facebook, Books by Ray, or just Raykel Tolson. And my website, RaykelTolson.com. You please go on there. You can get a free not a free copy, but a free chapter of my nonfiction book, Wired Church Folk 4. I won't go into that a lot, but you can get a free chapter of that. So that's it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you are so welcome, and thank you so much for being on the show. And like I tell everybody that's on the show, this show would be nothing without you guys. I'm so glad that we have a platform where you guys can tell us about yourself and your work and all of that stuff, and we're able to, like, branch you out to a bigger audience. Like right now, we're being heard in over 11 different countries. That's a blessing within itself. Also, just to let you guys know, since Raykel's back, she's actually featured in TL Monthly magazine. So if you want to read an article about her and how she got started and a little bit more about this book, you can look inside of TL Monthly magazine. The main issue is already out online, and you can get it from Amazon right now so that you can have a physical copy or a Kindle copy and see her actual article inside. And we do thank you for everything that you're doing. Continue to keep up the good work. And if you have anything new, feel free to contact us and let us know. We are very interested in keeping up with you. Normally what I say after these interviews are over, we like to make sure that what we did or what we said actually helped you in some kind of way. I'm so thankful to hear back from so many of you guys. And like I said, we're on episode 51. Yay! And tomorrow will be a year old. The Literary Lounge will be a year old. So we thank you so much. And if you have any final words, you can do so now.
I do not. I just thank you, and congratulations and happy anniversary on your 1 year.
Well, thank you so much, sweetheart. And just to let you know, this whole interview will be available for playback on our YouTube channel. So if you have capability to go on YouTube, just look up Transparency Library, and you'll be able to see your show and everybody else's show as far as all 50 episodes. So thank you guys, and y'all take care, okay?
Bye-bye. Thank you.
All right.
You are live at the Literary Lounge with your host, Destiny D, bringing you the newest and the brightest of the literary world right to your ear hole. Every Saturday from 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tune in, listen up, and learn something.
All right, guys. Make sure that you tune in next week, which will be May 11th, 2019, and we will have Ty Robinson as our special guest. Y'all keep it locked.
This is the spot for new hot authors who are given the opportunity to shine. Each Saturday from 1 to 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we will showcase a new author here at the Literary Lounge. We are taking out the time to give all of our literary friends an opportunity to showcase their work. The new Author Spotlight is a platform that allows us to ask up to 10 questions or more to give you, the audience, the most in depth current information about each writer in their literary piece. We will have a new guest every week. Stay tuned.